Scientists investigate links between the mosquito-borne Zika virus and a life-threatening condition which can cause paralysis. Police confiscate cannabis trees worth $3 million, and Alba gives a boost to the local film and videography sectors. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this. A life-threatening condition which can cause paralysis is being linked to the Zika virus. Idona John Baptist has more on this story.
Scientists are now investigating links between the mosquito-borne Zika virus and the Guillain-Barré syndrome. Guillain-Barré is another suspected complication from Zika in addition to microcephaly. This as Brazil's Ministry of Health has reported an increased number of people who have been infected with Zika virus who also have GBS. You will remember that a resurgence of Zika was recorded in Brazil last year, causing an international health scare because of the rate it's been spreading to date. It is believed that Zika could trigger the Guillain-Barré syndrome in an affected person. And the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is said to be working with Brazil to study the possibility of a link between Zika and GBS. The exact cause of Guillain-Barré is not known, but most people develop the syndrome after a viral or bacterial infection. The sufferer's immune system damages the nerve cells. Symptoms of Guillain-Barré begin with tingling sensations in the hands and feet of the sufferer before developing into muscle weakness and sometimes paralysis. The World Health Organization said that further investigations are needed to determine the role of previous infections known to be associated or potentially associated with GBS. WHO reported that Zika virus infection has been laboratory confirmed in only 3 of the reported GBS cases from Venezuela, while the infection has not been detected in any of the GBS cases from Colombia, although there has been a rise in GBS cases in Zika-affected countries of El Salvador and Brazil. On Monday, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFA, announced that it is now chairing an international group seeking to strengthen vector control programs in the Americas. The newly formed Technical Advisory Group on Public Health Entomology will advise Dr. Carissa Etienne, Director of the Pan American Health Organization, on ways to support, provide surveillance, and eliminate vector-borne diseases, including specific measures for Aedes aegypti, the mosquito that transmits Zika, dengue, chikungunya, and yellow fever. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In other top stories, police have unearthed cannabis trees worth almost $3 million from various drug busts at Mount Prosper last Thursday. The drug squad made the discoveries during separate searches in the heights of Mount Prosper. Police PRO Acting Inspector Pelham John Baptist has more.
The drug squad unit of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force carried out a successful anti-drug operation on Thursday, the 10th of March 2016, in the heights of Mount Prosper. Gibson Scott Mitchell, male, 30 years old, of Mount Prosper; Anthony Detouche, male, 18 years old, of Stock Farm; and Ebert Eli, male, 41 years old, of Stock Farm, have all been charged with the possession of cannabis with intent to supply and cultivation of cannabis. They were found in possession of 25.878 kilograms of cannabis weed with an approximate street value of $57,000 Eastern Caribbean currency and 9,380 fully grown cannabis trees with an approximate street value of $1,563,000 Eastern Caribbean currency. The drug squad unit of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force carried out another successful anti-drug operation on Thursday, the 10th of March 2016, in the heights of Mount Prosper. Jerry Henderson, male, 50 years old, of Mount Prosper, and Lazarus Joel Luke, male, 37 years old, of Woodford Hill, have been charged with the possession of cannabis with intent to supply and the cultivation of cannabis. They were found in possession of 2,450 fully grown cannabis trees with an approximate street value of $408,000.
A third raid, in which no one has been arrested, produced another batch of cannabis trees amounting to over $1 million.
On Thursday, the 10th of March 2016, the Drug Squad unit of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force carried out a successful anti-drug operation in the heights of Mount Prosper, where 10,488 fully grown alleged cannabis trees were uprooted and burnt. No arrests were made.
In other news, a weekend slide has eroded a section of the Dublin Road to the point where it can only accommodate single-lane traffic. Not sure how long this will last, but the parliamentary representative was on the national radio station Monday warning drivers to exercise caution. Now, this is a section of the Dublin Highway that we've been talking about, that you've probably heard about. Over the weekend, there was a landslide there, as is obvious. Some of the cans you see below, they were originally on the edge of that road above. I was told earlier on by one of the residents living nearby that there was another slide on Sunday. So apparently that tells me that the slide has continued to come down since the first slide, since the original one. This is something that the Ministry of Public Works would certainly be looking into. And it's not the only slide that took place over the weekend. We had another slide in the east and so on, but this one is very, very important because of the volume of traffic which goes back and forth on this highway. And a week of rain led to a slide in the Odilis area. Fortunately, this one has been cleared up, but if you know the area well, you know the overhanging rocks could pose future problems in an already narrow section of the road. You can see the heavy equipment behind me. We spoke to the gentleman operating the equipment. He told us he's been here from very, very early this morning trying to clear the rocks and debris, which really made it difficult to cross this area. But it's a very precarious area, as you can see, because the point at which he's dumping the debris, you can see that it is pretty undermined on that side. So another major slide due to a heavy rain for the past week or so. And work is still ongoing there to clear this road. It's been working, as we said, since very early this morning. 60 primary schools are set to compete in the biennial Math Power Contest, which kicks off on Tuesday. The eliminations round will take place at 12 different centers around the island for pupils from grades 4 to 6. St. John's Primary School won the primary school segment in the last Math Power Contest.
We have 60 primary schools. All will be competing for a place in the semi-finals, which will be held on the 21st of March 2006. From the semi-finals, the top 6 schools will go to the finals, and that's for the primary.
Meantime, the secondary schools, divided into 2 groups, will battle it out next month.
Lower secondary forms 1 to 3, and upper secondary forms 4 to 5. The Math Power Contest elimination for the secondary schools will take place on the 12th of April 2006, that's after the Easter. The top 5 schools in the lower and upper levels will go to the finals. The finals will take place on the 20th of April.
St. Mary's Academy won the upper and lower levels of the Math Power Contest in 2014. 2 participants from each school will team up for 2 rounds of intensive problem solving.
In the first round, mental maths, which is dubbed mental maths or speed and accuracy round, students will be required to work out a series of maths problems in their heads. And students will have 15 seconds to answer each question. In the second round, dubbed problem solving round, students will have to answer a series of challenging maths problems. They will, however, be able to use pen, pencil, paper, calculators in this round, and will have 30 seconds to present the correct answer.
The theme for this year's Math Power Contest is Mental Math Matters. And Dominica's artistic sector is gaining knowledge on how to creatively fight and bring awareness to gender-based violence. This is the aim of a 5-day workshop organized by the Bureau of Gender Affairs as part of its social mobilization campaign.
And now, even more than ever, with all what is going on as it relates to sexual abuse even of our children, there is need really for us to upscale our advocacy, upscale our awareness on the issue. And so through that project, the social mobilization campaign, the Bureau uses a lot of different strategies. I mean, we have to move with times and we cannot be using the same mediums all of the time. At the end of the day, what we want is when we go into the communities, we can use drama and dance and different mediums to bring out these messages.
UN Women, which supports this program, solicited the help of Arts in Action based in Trinidad to facilitate this workshop.
Well, we are sharing with them strategies, methodologies in different, what we call educative theatre or theatre in education. Well, I hope our sharing of our methodologies will enable them to be able to go out into their communities and to be able to deal with gender-based violence issues and that kind of thing. So we're hoping that we'll be able to use these strategies to be able to go further into their communities to deal with some of these issues, but using the theatre and the drama so that they'll be able to bring about awareness, to be able to showcase learnings and be able to interact with them and to get across their messages that they want to.
The Division of Culture also collaborated with the Bureau to execute this theatre in education workshop.
We have to recognize that gender-based violence and sexual abuse is very much culturally deeply rooted. It has a lot to do with the traditional views of women's roles, you know, and a lot of stereotyping of women and their roles. So it means, therefore, that if it is so deeply rooted, we cannot use one strategy. We have to use a number of strategies. And one of the ways that we've decided to do that is to engage theatre practitioners. It's something that is affecting each and every one of us. It's something that is affecting the entire society. So it means that the entire society needs to be engaged in discussions around these issues.
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, Commonwealth Day celebrations. Thank you for staying with us. The film and videography sectors in Dominica have received a notable boost from the Bolivarian Alliance for the People's Republic of the Americas, ALBA. Film and video screening equipment was recently donated to and launched at the Arawak House of Culture. This forms part of the restructuring of operations at the Arawak House of Culture, which falls under the supervision of the National Cultural Council.
It's really projection equipment to project films and videos. A 16-foot by 9-foot screen, of course, representing the dimensions of high-definition media these days. You may not be able to see it, but it's down in the pit, and it's an assemblage of DVD players, regular DVD players, inputs for flash drives, and computer laptops, and so on. It receives a variety of media that represents the latest of technologies. This really ushers in a sort of a new period of the screening of films here in Dominica. It also offers possibilities in the area of special occasions, festivals, and so on.
ALBA Cultural is the cultural program of ALBA, which aims to promote unity in the region through culture.
Action pursued under these programs include training in film and video production, film production projects, and provision of film and video equipment to countries such as ours. As our local film producers increase the production of film and video, one element lacking was a prime location for the premiering and screening of their film and videos and for the staging of film festivals. Developing the capacity of the Arawak House of Culture in this regard is government's response to this need.
Dominica was the first English-speaking Caribbean country to join ALBA and has enjoyed a fruitful relationship in this grouping.
Tenemos una relación con este país.
We have a relation with this country. We don't only donate equipment. In this moment, we are also constructing 50 houses in Grammy. From the 300 houses that was donated by our president worker, Nicolás Maduro, after the storm, Erika. We were the first to arrive in Dominica. This happened. this is the relation that brotherly people should have.
Scrupine, Are You Breathing, and Papi are 3 short films screened at Friday's event using the new equipment. In other news, the President of Dominica, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, members of Cabinet, and of course students and teachers met at Arawak House of Culture Monday for the observance of Commonwealth Day. The President of Dominica delivered the Queen's message centered on this year's theme, the Inclusive Commonwealth.
By including others, drawing on collective insights, knowledge and resources, and thinking and working together, we lay the foundations of a harmonious and progressive society. At the recent Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, there were forums for women, youth, business, and civil society. These forums were a place for reflection on how to contribute collectively to achieving positive global change for which the Commonwealth is widely respected.
Dominica was privileged to occupy a ringside seat at a very important event which took place within the Commonwealth. I am, of course, speaking about the selection of a new Secretary General of the Commonwealth. As you already know, Dominica presented a candidate in the person of Baroness Patricia Scotland, who, at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting late last year, was selected over the other candidates. Baroness Scotland will begin her tenure as Secretary General in a few months.
Commonwealth Day is observed every second Monday in March. And uniform standards for agriculture exports will be addressed when a national agriculture policy is approved by Cabinet. The agriculture policy, which is at its draft stage, is taking into account regional and international trade of fresh produce. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Harold Gist, is totally backing the need for Dominica to set an international standard for the export of agricultural crops.
Right now, the regional market, where people just take things and put it in a bag and send it to Antigua or to Barbados, they are not accepting this anymore. Therefore, our farmers, we need to educate our farmers to be able to meet the requirements of the regional market and, of course, the international market. So there is no more a distinction between those markets. It's one market, it's one standard. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us to be able to set the necessary framework, the policy framework, by which we do trade in the region and internationally.
The CARICOM Secretariat and AICA have partnered to implement an agriculture policy program for the region. Once the consultancy locally to develop the agriculture policy is complete, the Director of Agriculture and the PS will review it before presenting it to Cabinet for approval.
It is my firm belief that we need to apply international standards for all major crops, export crops in Dominica. Therefore, we need to upgrade our processes. We have to have a value chain approach. This requires us to, in order to upgrade, we have to upscale. That is to say, we need to, we have the fragmented nature of our agriculture poses challenges, and therefore the policy probably should address some minimum size farms or groups of farmers come together to be able to work, to be able to supply a particular market.
And one corporate citizen is continuing to support the fight against the Zika virus. That was the aim of a weekend cleanup campaign in the constituency of Soufriere.
Okay, at MAPA we have some lovely customers who actually push us to actually do things for communities, and right now we are in that stage of Zika virus where, you know, we believe a clean environment is vital, and we believe as well in a clean and green Dominica. So that is why we took this initiative to come here to do that cleanup campaign for not just MAPA but for Dominica.
MAPA Entertainment Center had teamed up with the Soufriere Scotshead Gallion Village Council for this venture.
Scott said, and Soufriere being a major tourism attraction, major tourism site. Hence, the maintenance, the sustenance of the marine area is crucial, it's paramount.
That's news. Sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
Hello everyone, and here are your sports highlights. First up in sports, the finals of the Dominica Football Association organized Division I League came to a close when Petro-Caribe Point Michel was crowned the 2016 champion on Sunday. The scores at the game were 3-1 against RIC Kensborough.
Shannon Stout put Kensborough in the lead when he capitalized on a goalkeeping error, but Kazime got the equalizer for Point Michel, with Kieran Lewis making it 2-1. Point Michel also benefited from an own goal. Point Michel, Kensborough and Wacky Rollers are all promoted to the Premier League in the new season.
Meantime, coach of the Point Michel team, Herschel Gregoire, attributes his team's success to a change in their game plan at the second half and teamwork.
Tonight was a splendid game. My team showed heart and soul. We showed a never give up attitude. Kensborough came with their best effort. They played well defensively and attacking. But my guys and them, we never gave up. We kept the spirit going and we did what we had to do. Well, second half we decided to put in a few of our younger players, the guys that normally they bring the energy to the game. Because past from the quarterfinals, semi-finals, they really changed the game for us. They were like game changers. So we brought them back in again to see if they could do the same thing as well.
Still in Division I football, Wacky Rollers secured third place in the Division I League on Saturday when they defeated RC Doctors 4-2. Gerald George has more.
Wacky Rollers defeated RC Doctors 4-2 on penalty kicks after their match ended 1-1 at regulation time. Johnny Charles scored for Wacky Rollers, with Kevin Lawrence getting the equalizer for RC Doctors.
In cricket, a 50-run win for Summit and an 8-wicket victory for Somerset Sports Club were results coming out of the Dominica Cricket Association organized Augustus Gregoire League on Sunday. At the Botanic Gardens, Summit Sports Club batted first, scoring 177 for 7. Vivian Eugene scored 52, Algie Liverpool 25 and Nicholas Bruno 24. Jermaine Moses took 3 for 46 for Police Sports Club. In their turn at the crease, Police replied with 127 for 8, Brian Felix 37, Gavin James 20 and Jean-Paul 21. Meantime at Windsor Park, Sagico's Somerset beat Starlights by 8 wickets. Starlight batted first, setting the target at 95 for 7. Isles scored a half-century for his team. Tyrone Laura took 2 for 6 and Roy Marshall 2 for 8 for Sagicor. Somerset, in reply, scored 96 for 2. Roy Marshall added 41 not out, while Bradley Baham was out on 40. And the game between Dubla United Stars and Nagico Northern Stars at Benjamin's Park didn't play due to inclement weather. On the basketball scene, the sports minister calls on basketballers to play their part in lifting the standard of the sport and to train younger players. Her statement came at the opening of the 2016 Dominica Amateur Basketball League on Saturday.
But what I would like to see, however, is that we try to be mentors and try to attract younger people to the game of sports. I heard the president earlier, he spoke to the introduction of the junior games. So it means, therefore, we are now trying to harness the talents in our younger boys and girls. But it means for you that you need to show example. You need to be able to make the sport an attractive sport so that the young people will want to be part of it.
Meantime, President of the DABA, Jerry Williams, says 2015 was a challenging year for the association.
The 2015 DABA season was very challenging, both in management of the sport and in quality of play. The elected body shrunk by over 70%, mainly due to resignation, and the previous executive lost over 40%. These numbers don't speak well about the sport and the way it is managed. These numbers will surely raise questions and will also have its members losing interest. Notwithstanding the pressure and the challenges faced, the 2 remaining elected members and the 5 co-op members continued to manage the sport and completed the 2016 basketball season.
The opening ceremony was followed by a Ballarama where crowd favorite Blazers defeated X-Men 8 points to 7. Then in a game between the Northern Stars and Southern Stars, the Southern team edged out the North 46 to 41. Ethan Boland and Thomas Felix got 7 each, while Kidjuan Thomas and Kesley Guy had 5 points apiece for South. Scorers for the North were Hendrickson Holsborough with 10, John James 9, and Marlon Hillier 7. Serving in some volleyball, the National Volleyball Championships had its official opening at the Massac Hardcourt Sunday, where various teams were present. President of the Dominica Amateur Volleyball Association, Albert Loblack, says 2016 is the year to bring home first place in order to attract sponsors.
We can no longer bring home second place trophies for the Dominican public. Because it affects us basically. I mean, we cannot approach a sponsor with second place. Every time we go to some second place, you're not winning. You know. We need to build, and I know we have the talent. We need to build a brand of volleyball that we can sell, a brand that potential sponsors will want to be associated with. And I know we have the talent right there in front of us. We just need to bring it out. We just need to, be a little more committed.
Meantime, in results from the Ballarama, Flo Wolfpack bested DB's Young Vets 29 to 27 in the men's round, while in the females game, DB's Acers defeated Flo Strike Force 25 to 22. That's all the time for sports. I'm Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
Coming up, your weather report.
Good evening, Dominica, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I'm your presenter, Marshall Alexander. We begin by taking a look at earlier infrared satellite imagery, what it showed. This area of cloudiness generated by weak unstable conditions which continue to affect the area. Now, taking a look at earlier visible satellite imagery, what it showed. Some low-level clouds which moved across the area today, and this resulted in partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica. Now, taking a look at earlier radar imagery, what it indicated. Scattered showers mainly across the islands to the north of Dominica. Tonight's weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers, and these conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow. Sea conditions are expected to be moderate in open water with waves peaking near 7 feet. Conditions for the next 3 days: partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers can be expected tomorrow. However, as we move into Wednesday, an increasing cloudiness and scattered showers can be expected, with an improvement expected by Thursday. Conditions for the rest of the Caribbean: an increasing cloudiness and scattered showers expected across the central and northern portion of the region, with a relative improvement in conditions expected across the extreme southern portion of the island chain. Our international cities forecast: overcast skies can be expected in New York and London, partly cloudy skies expected in Miami and Caracas, with clear skies expected in Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:13 a.m. and sunset at 6:16 p.m. For more information, you can call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Scientists investigate links between the mosquito-borne Zika virus and a life-threatening condition which can cause paralysis. Police confiscate cannabis trees worth $3 million. And Alba gives a boost to the local film and videography sectors. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsMarch14th2k16. You can watch our past newscasts on YouTube. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris, and to our viewers around the world, thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.